Hello everyone, it's nice to be here this morning or afternoon as the case may be. So I would say good afternoon to you all and welcome to the program. My name is Rita Unegu and I am a people expert, and that's why a people operations expert, and that is why I feel that I have the authority to talk to you about your God-given skills and how you can use same in the corporate space today. So I would like to sound this note before I go in, just more like a caveat to say that whatever it is that I am going to be talking about today is not something that you have not heard before. As a matter of fact, it is something that I'm sure most of you live through on a daily basis, what most of you already know about. I'm just here to more or less buttress the point and emphasize on quick wins that would help you fit your creative skills in the corporate world of today. So you would lend me your ears for the next couple of minutes. I promise you it would be short, straight to the point, and easy to adapt. I mean, speaking to your everyday life. So I'd like to start by saying that I know that everyone wants to own their own business someday. I mean, that is what I hear or what I see from time to time in today's world, especially with the people that we have coming out of the creative space today. Or at least most people I know want to own their own business at some point, which is good. People want to be entrepreneurs. They want to do things their own way. They want to more or less, see or explore how that world, fits into their daily life and their skills and what they have to offer to people, which is a fantastic idea. As a matter of fact, from experience, most creatives, and I'm referring to everyone in the creative space, most creatives would like to run their own business, from inception, more than any other field that I know of. So you're conducting interviews, for example, and you're talking to a videographer or a graphic artist or a content creator or anyone in the creative space. More often than not, you find people in this space wanting to do work as a freelance, wanting to do work based on their own pace, wanting to do work based on, how they are comfortable with doing it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this just speaks to the fact that a lot of the creatives out there in today's world want to own their own business at some point, in their lives, which is fantastic, right? I keep on saying that it is fantastic. It is fair enough, because you're working on multiple projects, possibly, or single projects, and you want to be able to, dedicate the time that you have appropriately and ensure that the work gets done at the end of the day. So this decision to be a freelance makes perfect sense. I mean, in all sense of the word. But there is a big but, that comes with this thought or this decision that has been taken. But it's not a but that cannot be surmounted, and that is why I'm here today. Because the next question that comes up will be, how do you deal with, people in your business? And people could cover your colleagues, your team members, your clients, your partners, and what have you. How do you comport yourself, to be able to drive the value that you want to drive in your business? So based off on that, while freelance is a fantastic idea, you also need to be able to, relate the offering or the value you want to provide to people. Remember, at the end of the day, whatever it is that you're selling or you're producing would end up being on somebody's plate or somebody's table tomorrow. So how do you comport yourself such that you know, it my name is Rita Unegu, and I am a people expert, and that's why a people operations expert, and that is why I feel that I have the authority to talk to you about your God-given skills and how you can use same in the corporate space um, today. So I would like to, sound this note before I go in, just more like a caveat to say that whatever it is, that I am going to be talking
On this. Exactly, embrace the opportunities. Yeah, just take the risk. And I'm here now. When I saw this event, that connected with other creatives, wow. And Discord was doing some awesome. Thanks, Becca, for reaching out. She really put me through. So, family, thanks for sharing your story. COVID 19 really impacted us in positive ways too. Actually, because I don't know where I would have been, for that break and that period of, self-reflection that, okay, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be. Thank God for tech and you guys are really, creating the awareness. And, I have a lot of women, a lot of moms that are in their 9 to 5 that are really looking for an opportunity, to do something cool like this. Because they just see me, when I do school runs in the evening, madam, and I tell them, well, I'm working from home. So, yeah. So that's my story. Wow. It's really good to connect with everybody. Thank you so much, Olayemi. Thank you. We have a tech mom in the house, and the story is really inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing, Olayemi. This is absolutely beautiful. And I'm just excited about how you leveraged on the opportunity that came your way. And you kept pressing, you didn't stop, you didn't give up. And now you're a tech mom. Man, I'm proud of you. I'm literally clapping for you right now. Wow, and thank you for sharing your story. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to every one of us. Thank you. I'm inspired. I am inspired. Thank you. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So we'll just move to the next section. We hope that more people will share their stories and, unmute themselves and really speak. Like I said, you don't have to turn on your video. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're going to be listening to our speaker, Rita Enable, and it's going to be wonderful. So, yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone. It's nice to be here this morning or afternoon as the case may be. So I'll say good afternoon to you all and welcome to the program. My name is Rita Negu and I'm a people expert. That's why a people operations expert. And that is why I feel that I have the authority to talk to you about your God-given skills and how you can use same in the corporate space today. So I would like to sound this note before I go in, just more like a caveat to say that whatever it is that I am going to be talking about today is not something that you have not heard before. As a matter of fact, it is something that I'm sure most of you live through on a daily basis, what most of you already know about. I'm just here to more or less buttress the point and emphasize on quick wins that would help you fit your creative skills in the corporate world of today. So you would lend me your ears for the next couple of minutes. I promise you it would be short, straight to the point, and easy to adapt. I mean, speaking to your everyday life. So I'd like to start by saying that I know that everyone wants to own their own business someday. I mean, that is what I hear or what I see from time to time in today's world, especially with the people that we have coming out of the creative space today. Or at least most people I know want to own their own business at some point, which is good. People want to be entrepreneurs, they want to do things their own way, they want to more or less, see or explore how that world, fits into their daily life and their skills and what they have to offer to people, which is a fantastic idea. As a matter of fact, from experience, most creatives, and I'm referring to everyone in the creative space, most creatives would like to run their own business, from inception, more than any other field that I know of. So you're conducting interviews, for example, and you're talking to a videographer or a graphic artist or a content creator or anyone in the creative space. More often than not, you find people in this space wanting to do work as a freelance, wanting to do work based on their own pace, wanting to do work based on how they are comfortable with doing it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this just speaks to the fact that a lot of the creatives out there in today's world want to own their own business at some point, in their lives, which is fantastic, right? I keep on saying that it is fantastic. It is fair enough because you're working on multiple projects, possibly, or single projects, and you want to be able to, dedicate the time that you have appropriately and ensure that the work gets done at the end of the day. So this decision to be a freelance makes perfect sense. I mean, in all sense of the word. But there is a big but, that comes with this thought or this decision that has been taken. But it's not a but that cannot be surmounted, and that is why I'm here today. Because the next question that comes up will be, how do you deal with, people in your business? And people could cover your colleagues, your team members, your clients, your partners, and what have you. How do you comport yourself, to be able to drive the value that you want to drive in your business? So based on that, while freelance is a fantastic idea, you also need to be able to, relate the offering or the value you want to provide to people. Remember, at the end of the day, whatever it is that you're selling or you're producing would end up being on somebody's plate or somebody's table tomorrow. So how do you comport yourself such that you're able to drive this value effectively and people actually are interested in buying what it is that you're selling? So that is why people and the corporate world and the experiences you get there becomes relevant to you, at the end of the day. I took down some notes, so I will be speaking through some of them, just so that I can bring it home for you at the end, of this program. So, in as much as you want to be a freelancer, you need to also cultivate the habits or the necessary habits that would help you succeed in those. Now, not everyone might want to be a freelancer, for example, because this is me assuming that, most people in the creative space want to be freelancers, but not everyone wants to be a freelancer. And as such, you would find yourself in the corporate space, you find yourself in the corporate world, and you need to be able, you need to prepare yourself on how you can tackle, dealings with people and the issues that will come up, because the fact that you're going to be dealing or interacting with different people would spring up different challenges every day, and you need to be able to tackle or address this head on as they come. There's no hard or fast rule to this. It all boils down to how you carry yourself and how you present yourself in the workplace. Now, how do you manage people? Because that's really what we're talking about, whether as a freelancer or in the corporate world. Okay? Because the truth is, you have people with varied ideas. They would come at you with opposing ideas, philosophies, the way they do things are at variance with what you would normally do or how you would normally perceive certain things. And you're constantly interacting with people. Like I mentioned earlier, you might be interacting with your colleagues, with your team members, with your co-workers, with your clients, with your partners, with whoever it is. I mean, you're constantly interacting with people. So how do you marry the differences, that these people would always come at you with your own, way of doing things? That's where the management or the relationship that we're about to cultivate in this session today comes to play. You need to pay special attention, to how you interact with people. So this is us combining, or as much as possible, trying to combine your creative skills with your interaction with the people in the corporate world. So as it were, even if you're a freelancer, you will be providing services at some point to people in the corporate world. So it's still something that is relevant to you, and it's still something that you need to live through, because your interactions with people go a long way into ensuring that your value is being felt. There's something that you're selling, your proposition is top notch, and you're doing what you know how to do best, especially doing it right by people. So I've talked about the creative skills that you already have. You might have been born with it, you might have schooled yourself on this, and it's fine. You're a creative, and we appreciate you, at that. And now the next step is to see how we can marry or align your creativity into working with people, as the case may be. Now for me, more about collaboration. So we're talking about your creative skills. We're talking about using it in the corporate world, and basically the only way that I can think of to achieve this is if you learn or you know how to collaborate with the people that are around you. So on collaboration, how do you achieve this? Of course, the first step is to acknowledge that you do not know everything, because truly we cannot be all things to all men. Hence, there is a need for people at each step of the way. There is a need for interaction with people at each step of the way. These, my friends, cannot be overemphasized, and that is why we're having this session today on how you interact with people, how you bring them into your space, and how you get into their space to ensure that there's cohesion and there's alignment with the work that you do or will do for them eventually. So because I said you cannot know everything, it automatically means that you need people in your space from time to time. Of course, no man is an island, so whatever work that we have produced becomes nothing if there is nobody at the other end to receive it or to accept it as such. So at this juncture, I believe that of my talk or the essence of this session, becomes clearer, to you. I mean, the singular fact is that we're all here, meaning that we need people, meaning that you need to learn something to be able to get something done, already answers it all. You always are in constant need, to dealing with people, and that is why this session is important. We need to leverage on our network, and by network I mean people. I'm going to be talking a lot about people, so don't get tired of hearing it, because you will hear it. I'll try to do that under 1,000 times, but you will hear it a lot in this session, okay? So we need to leverage on our network, this talking to the people, to get our work done. We need to leverage on our network to get more businesses. We need to leverage on our network to gain more insights, to gain more ideas, and whatever other magic that we plan to achieve, you need to leverage on your network. You need to leverage on your network sometimes for inspiration. Sometimes you start off on a particular project and you already have the end in mind, you know exactly what it is you want to achieve, and then somewhere along the line you start to discover that, okay, I can actually tweak this here, I can actually do away with this and replace it with that, just because you're thinking about the impact, how the person on the other end will receive it, how you want them to receive it, how it would impact them. The message that you're trying to pass across has to be consistent with the value that you hope to create. And as such, you're thinking about the end in mind, what product you want to put out there, what service you want to render, what sales you want to do, and how the people on the other end or the divide will receive it. So you've more or less spoken to different people, you've gained more perspective and insight into certain things. The list goes on, but basically you're building on relationship to help you go far, with your work. So you have the skill, you now need to know how to deal with people to see how both align to create the value that you want for yourself. So I hear a lot of times people say that creatives are, permit me to use the word creatives, that is, are in a world of their own. They do not, basically interact all the time. So perhaps because we have more people in the freelance space as creatives, people just tend to think that, oh, creatives don't want to interact with people, they just want to do their thing and, go away. Might be partially true. I can't, say for a fact that it is not, or it is, because I'm not fully into the creative space. But one thing I know is dealing with people. I'm not fully in the creative space, so I can't claim to know what goes on all the time in that space. But I know for a fact that for potential businesses and potential partnerships, you cannot afford to be in a world of your own. You need to leave your world through people to be able to get the value that you're looking for. You must develop the right relationships and friendships that would help you, or that would basically be a stepping stone of doing greater things. And as such, you cannot always choose who you want to work with, how you want to work with them, who you want to work for example, the partners you will work with, how you interact with them. You can't always choose that. I wish that we all had that power, but unfortunately, that is not the case, because people will come at you with their differences at every step of the way. So you can't stay in that space feeling, oh, I just want to do my own thing and that's it. What if you provide or you produce and it is not something that is acceptable to the general public? Remember, your work needs to interact with the public, at all times. So you need to always put that into consideration. So based off of all of this, the first thing that I will be pointing out at this time is how you can incorporate what I would call respect into everything that you do. Oh yes, we hear it all the time, respect is reciprocal and everything. But you can actually make a conscious effort to embody or wear that armor of respect, irrespective, of what is being dished out to you. It is difficult. I'm not here saying, oh, it's easy to walk it back. It is difficult because sometimes, like I said, the kinds of people you meet will throw you off balance and you're wondering, oh, okay, what's this? But you need to understand that it is a varied perspective. Does not mean that it is a foolish or a stupid perspective. You only just need to listen through it. So if you think about it from a respectful point of view, you're better able to manage the process. Now, respect in this case is not that you will become subservient, right? You will more or less still push your thought process through, but how do you push the thought process through? Are you imposing yourself on people? In which case, it's probably not the right time to be having that conversation, but because you are who you are and you're used to doing things in your own space, in your own world, you're imposing yourself on them, then it becomes a bit, it borders a bit on the disrespectful line, which is why I'm starting off with the respectful part of this conversation. I'm just saying a good dose of respect will go a long way. This is directly linked with patience because patience will take you very, very far, having to deal with different personalities, that is. Like I mentioned earlier, you will not always meet people who share the same ideas, who share the same thoughts, or who share the same perspectives as you, but you must find a way to work with these people. Yeah, unfortunately, you must find a way to work with these people. I had mentioned who these people could be, several times. Your team members, your business partners, your colleagues, your family, your friends, whoever, people as a whole or in general, you have to find a way to work with them. Now, your ability to treat them with respect and patience, and to even hear them out, because sometimes respect means that you would pause on your thoughts and try to hear other people out, try to understand their perspective and where they're, coming from. Now, if you're able to do this, your own perspective will be shaped somehow. What I would advise is that you listen and look out for the positives, because this is really what you should concern yourself about. Listen and look out for the positives, because that is what you'll be working with most of the time. Don't bother yourself with the negatives. You're not going to do anything with it anyways. Whether ideas or thoughts, whatever it is that is negative, you're not going to do anything with it. You're not going to be able to create any value out of it. So why not just, hold it at arm's length and more or less focus on the positives? Because guess what? The negatives don't define you, only if you allow it to define you. And for the most part, you actually have control over that. It's difficult, like I said, but it is possible. So, be patient, learn or try to understand or try to listen or look out for the positive perspective of others, so that you can always, have a fresh perspective that would help you do your work. You'll get a lot of this in the corporate world where you're working with people, because you would definitely always work with people. So how do you ensure that the positive sides to what they're saying is incorporated into your work, thereby making it a better proposition for, people around? You should also aim to be open-minded at all times, because this is that part that helps you receive the information. So beyond the respect, beyond patience, you want to be open-minded. Like I said earlier on, you cannot know it all. We all cannot know it all. So the more you receive, the more you churn out, the thoughts in your head, take out what you do not need and absorb the ones that would help you do your work. You can only do that when and if you're open-minded. Sometimes you have a fantastic idea in your head. When you're thinking about it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing, that has happened since sliced bread. And when you share the same idea with somebody else, you start to realize that, you could do a bit more with the perspective from another person's point of view. And then you realize, oh, I didn't think about this. Oh, I didn't see it this way. Oh, how can I actually, incorporate this into my work to ensure that, I'm designing the best possible creative for the audience that I want to attract? Just by me talking to people, you get this change of perspective that would help you, do your work. And as such, you need to be able to welcome these new ideas. Remember, at the end of the day, you're better off for it because you have literally taken your value proposition up a notch by just being open-minded, by just listening and hearing out what people, are saying. Now, this is what gives birth to the collaboration that I talked about earlier, because we necessarily don't have stupid ideas per se. Let all the ideas in so that you can sift through and hold on to the ones that you require, as the case may be. Remember, beyond being open-minded, you also need to be receptive. So open-minded, get the facts, and all of this speak to cooperation and collaboration, which cannot be overemphasized at this time, because you're dealing with people. Now, understanding these attributes would help you settle well in your work and in the corporate space, the corporate environment proper. Now, remember at the beginning I mentioned that most of us we want to own our own businesses someday. So your experience in the corporate world, if you're given that opportunity, would go a long way. Some of us may not pass through that door, but if you have to pass through that door, the experience will go a long way. For those of us who don't pass through the door, it's still not a problem, because at the end of the day, your ability to work with people is what will take you very far in your ventures. So that's not a problem at all. Now, some of the things that would help you settle in the corporate world would be for example, one, understanding the environment that you're working with. Now, this environment comes with the culture. What sort of people do you have here? How do they interact? How do they live their lives? What's the work-life balance situation of the environment? I would confess that some corporate spaces are not the ideal space, but you find yourself in such a space. How do you deal with it? Would you, keep breaking down doors and roaring until you get out of the space? What then happens to collaboration and cooperation at the end of the day? If you break down all of the doors or you burn all the bridges and you get out eventually, who are the people you're going to be leveraging on to, take the next step into doing the next big thing if you burn down those bridges? So you need to be careful. You need to understand the environment. You need to understand the culture. I mean, you don't just go in with the "this is how I am" syndrome. A lot of people do that. I mean, it's what it is, but it is not a winning behavior. It is not the behavior that would give you, the kind of traction or leverage that you're looking for. Funny enough, I saw a meme recently about how humans claim to be a certain way. Oh, this is how I am. I don't do this. I this is not me. This is not how I do it. I cannot do anything to change it. And there was that statement that said, but Jesus himself was not a sinner, but he was killed. I mean, he died for our sins. Now, I would pause here because this is not a religious gathering. This is not a Christian gathering. But the statement or that reality hits differently, because you cannot just stay put in that space and say, this is how I am, and as such every other person should deal with it. Now, let's put it in perspective. If everyone did come to say, oh, this is how I am, my people, how would you move on in such an environment? So you understand how you cannot go into an environment with the "this is how I am," syndrome. You need to understand the environment so that you can adapt to it, so that you can accept it and adapt to it, as much as you can. There are other people, with varying backgrounds, and as such, you should be able to live with them, work with them as a team. because no man is an island. Okay, so you need to respect this for people, and then drop all those excesses and come together basically to work as a team. The next important thing that would help you settle in the corporate world would be, like most organizations, there are HR processes that people must align with. Now, these HR processes have been built in order to ensure that the people work together as a team. These processes sometimes might not be the best, but I'm asking you to trust that it is required, because everyone needs to have a feeling of belonging. So if the processes are standardized, everyone feels like, okay, if it's happening to me, it is happening to A and it is happening to B. So it's not a case of being victimized or anything. If you have that understanding and you think about it that way, it becomes easier to adapt to the processes that have been set. So rather than looking at it like a witch hunt, oh, these guys don't like me, oh, I don't agree with this process, what nonsense, no, we don't do this like, oh, in my former place of work, this is not what we do, oh no, this is not, The process has been designed such that it applies to everyone. How or what is your own contribution to ensuring that the process works? As a matter of fact, you can actually be a party to changing that process, as the case may be. How do you go about it if you're, I don't agree with this? No, you have to first accept it, leave it, deal with it in your head, and churn out the positives. Sometimes you might be able to get away with it. You don't need to do so much to change the process. You begin to see the positives. But when it is absolutely necessary, you can then start to think or talk about the negatives in such a way that it can be changed. However, you also need to be careful how you communicate this, and that is why dealing with people becomes important, and you cannot overemphasize on that. You need to talk with them with respect, so that they can even hear what you're saying. Because if you come at it from me, I am right, this is who I am, chances are that you might lose the audience, and you don't want to do that. What's the end result? Teamwork. You need to be able to get your work done through people. You need to be able to get your work done for people. You need to be able to push that value that you have so much in you, that creative that you have so much in you. You need to be able to push it out. And one way of doing this is if you can, adapt with the environment that you find yourself. So we've talked about your creative talent, speaking to your skill set as a content creator, graphic artist, videographer, and what have you. We've talked about how you can incorporate that in the corporate world or in the world at large, wherever it is you find yourself, speaking to the do's and don'ts in some organizations and following through processes that have been set. We've also talked about collaboration and how you need people within your ecosystem to be able to get your work done. So you need to be able to marry all of these three to find your effective way of doing things. Now, to wrap this up, let's just quickly talk about some of the negative behavior in the corporate space that you would not like, or I'm assuming you would not like. I would read this out, permit me to. So there is disrespect for authority figures. I'm sure you won't like that, whether in working for others or even in your own work environment. Exerting minimal effort, in which case, let them do the work, they'll be fine, nobody should disturb me. Acting selfishly or with little or no concern for others. Gossiping or talking about others without their knowledge, excluding or ignoring co-workers, you're not greeting, you're not interacting, throwing tantrums. Nobody likes that in the workplace. No. We've talked about your creative talent as an individual, speaking to your skill set as a content creator, videographer, graphic artist rather, and everyone in that space, and how you can apply this in the corporate world, speaking to the do's and don'ts with regards to your interaction with people in the corporate world and indeed human existence, and then lastly we've talked about collaboration and cooperation, speaking to how you interact with people within your ecosystem. Now you need to find a way to marry these three for effectiveness. Now, to make it clearer, or to bring it back home a bit more, let's delve into some negative behavior in the workplace or in the corporate world, and tell me what you think about these. I mean, let's take a look at what negative behavior in the workplace would look like. Disrespectful or disrespect to authority figures. Let's look at another point. Exerting minimal efforts while interacting with clients. So you just sit back, cross your legs, and you're like, you know what? Just do the work. It's fine. You guys, you understand now. You're not involved. You're just everyone is going to be good. It's fine. You like that behavior? I don't know. Well, let's look at some others. You're acting selfishly with little or no concern for others. That behavior of this is how I am, so it has to be your way or the highway kind of behavior. If everyone does that, it becomes a toxic environment, and that's why you can't live or be your best in such an environment. So don't dish it out. Okay? Gossiping, talking about others behind their back. To what end? What do you plan to achieve, with that? Excluding or ignoring your co-workers. So someone works in, probably says good morning, good afternoon, and you don't respond because, hey, this is who I am. Nah, I'm not sure it is, ideal for the corporate world or even in your own space. Okay? Throwing tantrums and just acting out of anger. Hey, I can't take this. What nonsense? Go and ask them where I'm coming from. If they try it, do you know how many brothers I have, or how many women I have in my house, how many sisters I have in the house? I have somebody like you in my house. Okay, we know that, but how does this tantrum help this situation? You don't want anyone to dish it to you. Don't dish it out to people. So if you take a look at some of these behaviors, now the behavior goes on and on and on. I just don't want to waste your time, but basically if you take a look at all of these behaviors, not just some, all of these behaviors, would any one of you like this behaviors, for example, when you start your own business? I can bet that the answer is a big no, like N-O, no. Would any one of you like this sort of behavior, even if you're not running your own business in the workplace? Would you like when someone does this to you? I can almost be certain that the answer is a big no. Nobody likes that. Now, if the answer is no, then you need to do well to watch these in yourself, because you shouldn't dish it out because you're not going to accept it, right? So don't dish it out. You can think through the process, and trust me, if you do well to watch this behavior in yourself, you can fit in anywhere. I mean, take it from me, anywhere, whether in the corporate world or you're in your own little corner, or in your own corner. Oh, no, not little corner, I take that back. In your own big corner, wherever it is, if you're able to watch these behavior, you can fit in anywhere, especially with regards to dealing with people. Oh, I didn't keep to my promise. I said I was going to try to use the word people a little under 1,000, but I don't think I succeeded. So maybe I should just start to sing people are the crux of the matter. People are everything that you do to ensure that you add value to yourself and to people. You need people all the way. I'm just kidding. So like I said at the beginning, No man is an island. So you need to go out and dominate your space. You have the skill set, you have what it takes. You've more or less started to build on the right behavior that would help you push these skills to people's face. I mean, they need to see that you know this thing. They need to see how creative you are. They need to see your talent. So work well with, I mean, the talent is a given, the skill is a given. Work well with yourself to ensure that people actually see these things, right? So yeah, no man is an island. You need to go out and dominate, because what? Yes, you can! Actually, don't report this to Obama or whoever else would lay claim to this statement, but I know that you can. And if you think about it, you can do it. Just be yourself. Just breathe. Don't dish out what you will take. Don't dish out what you feel would be an issue if you were, giving it, or if you were on the receiving end. You can do it. Marry your skills to how you interact with people, and I think that the sky, in fact, would be your starting point, not the limit. Actually, would be your starting point. So at this juncture, I would say that I hope that I have effectively, played my mark and tried to, help you understand how working with people, building relationships with people would help you project your skill, to a larger crowd, how it will take up your value proposition a notch. And guess who is benefiting from all of this? Guess it's as good as mine. The money is not coming to my pocket though. It's not coming to my pocket. It's all you, because everyone wants to work with the ideal person who's giving them the right value and has the perfect and best behavior to work with. I'll stop at this point, and I wish you all the best. I know that you can do it, and take care of yourself. See you in some other lecture sometime soon. Bye-bye.
because Rita,
she is married.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Beth. That was brilliant. Brilliantly said. Thank you. And it's just beautiful how that you were able to pick key lessons that apply to you. That's the important thing about these conferences. So the speaker is going to come, say a lot of things, but then you're picking things, learning stones that apply to you directly. You're not just trying to hear or listen to what the speaker is saying, but then you're trying to relate and connect it to your own life and how you can be better. I really, really appreciate and celebrate you, Deb. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, can we take one more person? We're going to go on a break shortly. But before we go on that break, I want us to interact on more. Let us share our lesson stones from Mrs. Rita's session. I have a lot of things to share, but I want to hear from you guys first. So who's going to go next? Hi, Naskiat. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Who wanted to speak? Please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Rita, for sharing this with us. I actually, being a product designer, you can work alone, you get your use cases from the product manager, you build product from the software developer. Sometimes you get invited to the stakeholders
Tech mom speaking. This is so deep. Dishing out so much. Sorry. Please go ahead, Mom.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, well, my background too, being an engineering geologist, and going on the field, I've learned to collaborate with people because I'm working with artisans, and what way these people are, you have to understand their language, the street language, the kind of music they listen to, Fuji music. You have to blend, you have to be local, you have to go to that restaurant with them and chill with them sometimes. So you have to understand that to get your work done faster, because if you delay, you're spending more money on the field. Mm-hmm. And good being to tech, I try to bring that skill into my tech field. But what I saw that is just coming up, you need to get your designs checked, get some feedback, the back and forth. And sometimes if you don't get the feedback when you want to get it, you just have to relax and all that. And sometimes when the feedback comes, the way it hits you, you just be like, oh God, what's all this? But you have to just take it forward. And there is something that I really value, maybe because I'm a Nigerian and I'm here with respect, they believe it's reciprocal. Nobody wants to work with an asshole, you get?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yes, Mom.
I don't care. I don't care how much you're offering me. You get my sanity, I respect you, and I want to work with someone that respects me too. So, I've learned something in this tech space that a lot of people, especially, I think, I don't know, maybe that pride comes with experience or something. Very difficult to have a reasonable conversation with. And I think as creative, we have to work on it. You're trying to have a decent conversation with someone and they're giving you this look. You're like, what is wrong with you? I'm going to give you enough on the head. But it can really get, if you're not careful, you just have to it's not like you're being stupid or something like you said earlier, but it's something like we have to know when to how to adjust this environment. We should try to be nice too. People are going through a lot, so let's be nice to people. If the developer in our team can be nice, if the product designer should be nice, if the product manager should be And let's be nice. I mean, when you're nice to someone, when someone sees that, oh, I can talk to this person and I get feedback without some kind of attitude. When that person wants to talk to you again, I mean, at least someone says now, would talk to you like a normal human being. So, that is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olayemi. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the ginger, the energy, and the vibe from you. Thank you. Yes, so that was a lot. So I'm gonna, just share a few things because I'm a psychologist. I'm also a creative, but then primarily I'm a psychologist, and I have a few things to say. I like that, she had to reiterate, you have to be respectful. You can't just talk to people anyhow. And then, of course, and the funny part is and even when people talk to you, rudely, and you respond rudely as well, you're doing something to yourself. So you're creating a habit of even being rude to other people. You might think you're trying to, she gave it to me, I'm going to give it to her back, but you do it in Nigeria. But then the truth is, you're also altering your personality, right? And in the long run, you just realize that you become someone else, and you're wondering how did I get here. So yes, you have to be respectful. And then she said something profound. Being respectful doesn't mean you're subservient. No, they're two different things. You're not a fool, right? You're not stupid, but then you're giving people respect. You're according people respect. It's so important. And once you do, another body will respect you too. It's only like Ola Yemi said, assholes that would, disrespect you even after you respected them. Then she said, be patient. She talked about being patient. It's so important. Yes, you have the skill. Yes, you're competent. Yes, you're good with Python. Yes, you're good with coding. You're great at what you do. It's great, but then your people management skills needs to be honed as well. Because you're not just your skills, right? Because you're going to be communicating with people, so you have to be intentional about that. And then unprofessional behaviors, gossiping, it's just so low class. And I believe nobody here, right, has got any of those problems. So the work ethics have to be on point as well. In summary, like she said, I'm just reiterating, marry your skills, to how you interact with people. Okay, so we started networking already. Deb, it was nice to meet you again. Thank you, Olayemi. Naskiat, hi, hello, how are you? I want you to please teach us how to pronounce your name. Mowaita, I love that name. I don't think it's Nigerian. I would like to meet you as well. So we have started networking. So can someone please share before we jump into the master classes? I'm going to talk about the master classes in a bit, but before that, can we just share? One more person. Wasiu, hi, you want to talk? Gospel, we want to hear from you. Kolako, please, let's hear. Kofi, Destinaldo, I'm calling out the guys, it's intentional. Please, we have two women speak. Let it be balanced. So can we have one guy say something to us? Because we have taken what she said and processed it, based on our orientation as women. So I want to hear from the guys. Hi, Moise.
I'm Moise. Actually, I'm an artist. Actually, I'm actually enjoying the season. It's quite fun, but he spoke on two things. She spoke on the aspect of respect towards people, and she spoke about the way we interact. But again, at times when you talk to people, your client, customers, and trying to give them the very best of your service, and some customers can just be funny. They will
actually
they can just to the last end of you, and you have the choice but to talk with them.
You have a choice, though.
That goes Now that, though, on the long road at times, it's always not fitness or personality because when that kind of person or client is going to direct you into another person, you'll be like, oh, this person doesn't know how to talk, and be like, that's wrong. Respect is actually a very good thing when talking to people generally. And collaboration. Not everybody in great conversations or has the mind of talking to just everybody. I mean, you just want to relate to someone, possibly someone not met before, someone you don't know before, and it's kind of hard. So sometimes being an artist, I really find it very, very hard to relate to people because it's not my thing. It's not something I was brought up with to have most conversations with people. So I really find it kind of hard. I mean, from what I learned from we make it's a horror. It's I guess we should probably work on networking with people.
Absolutely.
That really helps. Really helps. I really that's just all I have to say. I really don't say thank you for
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maurice. Thank you. So respect resonates with a lot of people here. It's so important, you know. And then the truth is, even when people are disrespectful to you, you always have a choice to remain respectful to them. You always have a choice to remain polite. You know, and it starts from even when you're being alone. The things you say to yourself, how you picture yourself, goes a long way in responding to people and respecting people. Thank you so much, Louise. And collaboration is so key because you're not an island of knowledge. You don't know everything. You need people, and you know, even when you collaborate, you can achieve more because many people are coming together with their own unique resources, with their own unique experiences, expertise, skills, and you know, a touch of their personality. So it just builds something really grand. So collaboration is so important. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into the master classes already.
Hello,
Hi. Can you please introduce yourself?
okay, my name is Rita.
Aww. Oh my God, she's on the call.
Yes, I have to jump in so that I can, basically try to interact with as many people as I can in the chat room. So I'm happy to be here and welcome to this chat. I just wanted to ask quickly something and based on all of the feedback or the conversations that have actually gone on concerning how we interact. I like the fact that a lot of people enjoy the respectful nature of
Whitespace Event.
I like the fact that
So that you can use it.
also collaboration without taking very far with the work that you do. And one thing I would like to add, just one point,
I'm not projecting
really
myself
for everyone is that you only have control over yourself. You
Yeah.
don't have control over somebody else.
Yes,
So
Mom.
when we talk about respect, when we talk about other behavior that we're trying to project, it is actually that behavior from your perspective. You can't control what the other person is doing. So yes, you decide to be respectful as somebody else or whoever it is you're interacting with is pushing rubbish your way. You can't control that. However, you can control your own part of the decision. You don't always have to be in a particular position or particular job. You don't always have to. However, if you decide that you will walk in, you can actually walk in respectfully. Okay? Because that you have control over. Don't worry yourself about what the other person will say. Chances are that at some point, when they realize that in all of these interactions, all of these processes, you actually maintain your own, let's use the word dignity, that's very big word. You maintain your cool you're a winner already. Don't bother your head about the so-called post after that the Bible mention. It's that's not you, that's not the business. You don't have any control whatsoever of that. So do you concentrate on yourself and ensure that you stay with it? Because even with this when your class said that when the person wants to recommend, the person has this things to still say about even though your interaction then the one was with it in the story. So control yourself. That's basically the message of passing at this point, because that's your spell of influence. You cannot do anything about what the other person is doing. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I will stop at this point. Thank you all for listening.
Wow.
I think that you have work.
Wow, thank you so much, Mrs. Rita. Can we please appreciate her? Just say thank you. Unmute yourself and just say thank you. Because that was super profound. You have control of only your behavior, and you cannot actually control the others. So you can't control your responses and your actions towards others. Thank you so much. That was profound. Okay. So we're just going to jump right into the master classes. We have very, very amazing topics.
Thank you, Rita.
Yes.
This is amazing doing this. I should stop it.
No, she's not doing a master class. Sorry, I should have sent you the update. So she's not. So she's gonna have a session tomorrow.
Thank you, Olayemi. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to have 3 master classes, and you're going to decide on which you want to be on. I'm looking forward to being in everything, and I'm thankful that I'm the moderator so I can switch. But then I know I'm not get the best if I do that. That's why I'm going to get the recording is to go listen again. So the first, we're going to be learning or having a master class on interior decoration basics. And then we're also going to be having another one on social media for creators. And finally, we're going to be having the art of digital illustration. I'm thinking again, I think I'm just going to stay in one. And I know which one I'm going to stay in. So decide while I read to you the profiles, the bios of the anchors for the master classes. Okay, so for the interior decorator basics, or decoration basics, she is a Nigerian artist, painter, and illustrator. She's known for her floral sculptures and installation made from different upcycled material like paper, plastic shapes, and foam. Her works are advocates for a beautiful and healthy environment. She studied fine art education at the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria. She has exhibited with an international group of female artists, Sister Art, and participated in Arts in Medicine Fellowship Nigeria. She organizes community workshops for children in orphanages where she teaches crafts and recycling art. Her installations have been exhibited in various events and residential estates like Banana Island and called Christmas Wonderland Carnival. She is the CEO of Splendor's Art Republic, a growing company based in Lagos, Nigeria, providing art solutions in interior, events, and environmental management. Can we please celebrate and appreciate Splendor Austin? We can't wait to hear and learn interior decorator basics. For social media for creators, I want to introduce to you Edmond Akinlolu Adebotolu. He is the founder of Edified Rich Ventures, a web development and digital marketing company. Prior to starting his own company, Edmond worked with Connect Nigeria, where he was the head of strategy and research with an oversight function in managing the digital marketing team. He has also worked in the retail marketing communication, digital marketing, and e-commerce industry, both in Nigeria and in the UK. Can you please welcome Edmond Adebatolu? He's going to be taking a masterclass in social media for creators. And finally, I'm so going to be in this masterclass and I'm excited about it. I want to introduce to you Mary Jane Uzodinma.
Yeah.
Please, when, at what point?
Since the first thing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, I love this. So,
Hello, hi, apologies. I didn't know I'd been muted and I'm speaking already. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the master classes to you. So we're going to be having 3 master classes today. And the first one is on interior decoration basics. Interior decoration basics. The second master class is the social media for creators. And the third is the art of digital illustration. So you get to choose the master class you want to attend. You can't attend all because they're holding concurrently. I'm just going to read to you the profiles, the bios of those speaking to us and engaging us in the master classes, and we will jump right into the groups, the breakout groups. So for interior decorator basics, interior decoration basics, I want to introduce to you the Nigerian artist, painter and illustrator. She's known for her floral sculptures and installation made from different upcycled material like paper, plastic sheets, and foam. Her works are advocates for a beautiful and healthy environment. She studied fine art education at the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Great Ife, Nigeria. She has exhibited with an international group of female artists, Sister Art, and participated in Arts in Medicine Fellowship Nigeria. She organizes community workshops for children in orphanages where she teaches crafts and recycling art. Her installations have been exhibited in various events and residential estates like Ghana Island and Eko Christmas Wonderland Carnival. She is the CEO of Splendor's Art Republic, a growing company based in Lagos, Nigeria, providing art solutions in interior, events, and environmental management. I want to introduce to you Splendor Austin. She's going to be facilitating the masterclass on interior decoration basics. For social media for creators, I want to introduce to you Edmond Akinolu Adebatolu. He's the founder of Edified Rich Ventures, a web development and digital marketing company. Prior to starting his own company, Edmond worked with Connect Nigeria, where he was the head of strategy and research with an oversight function of managing the digital marketing team. He has also worked in the retail, marketing communication, digital marketing, and e-commerce industry both in Nigeria and in the UK. I want you to celebrate Edmond Akinolu. He's going to be facilitating the masterclass in social media for creators. And finally, which I am super excited about, I want to introduce to you the facilitator of the masterclass in the art of digital illustrator. She is a digital artist and illustrator, redefining the Black culture community through her dynamic style. She loves being dynamic when illustrating and designing, and she creates visual works designs for brands that capture the aesthetics of the Black African culture. I want you to make welcome with me, Mary Jane Uzodinma. Can we please celebrate and appreciate them? Thank you for choosing to do this. These guys are authorities in their spaces. It will be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So the breakout rooms have been created already. We have, if you check on the left side of your screen of your device on the app. We have the breakout rooms now. We have the one on interior, decoration, basics, social media for creatives, creators, and what happened to the last one? And the art of digital Illustrator. So you find it and you hop in. So let's start hopping into our desired master classes, and we would meet right after to share our learning experience and have a Q&A session. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Please, where is the facilitator?
For she's coming to enter, don't worry. MJ will enter. MJ is online.
I've already been able to sign.
Yes, sir. Is MJ in?
I've left them. Please check what's happening in all places.
Splendor is not in Splendor. I'm going to enter.
Can you display it in your phone?
I'm not showing this to YouTube. No.
Hello, Edmund. Hi. Yes, could you please give us some 2 minutes for more people to join before we start? Thank you. Thank you so much. So good to have you. Thank you. No one is interior defense. Not in Splendor.
Let me call her.
Maybe Jane is interior defense. Or is she coffee?
No, it's designed with MJ's Jane. I can't join what?
Oh,
Why? I don't understand.
this Splendor.
Just click delete on the of your class.
Hi, Febo, hi, Aura, hi, Kofi, hi, Ola. We were here together. So let's just give our facilitator a moment to join. We will jump right into this masterclass. Thank you. Thank you. But while we're here waiting, we can just engage ourselves. What are we looking forward to in this masterclass? It'll be great. Thank you.
Okay, people will actually live here to join. Yes.
Probably we should tell them that. Let me go back to the main stage.
What was Splendor saying? Can you go back to the tell them to they can leave? No, they don't even have to. Once they click it, try to come out.
Hi, I can see that some of us are still here. So if you look to the left side of your screen, you will find, when you scroll, you will find these breakout rooms. So all you just need to do is to click, on the breakout room you want to be in. So we have the room for interior decor basics. We have social media for creators, and we have the art of digital illustration. So just join so that we can start, so that our facilitators can start. We're giving us just a few minutes to join, a few moments actually. Thank you. See you in the breakout rooms.
Edmund has started. Let me call MG. I think MG is, she's not always late.
How's Splendor joining?
Yeah, Splendor is going to MG is in. MG is still, she's not.
She hasn't joined.
MG has to enter this thing.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for organizing this program.
Hi, Kofi. Sophie. Thank you too for being here. We appreciate you.
MJ, we're waiting for you. Okay, she has entered. Okay. You just entered your master class. Thank you, dear.
Yay! So our facilitator is here. Design the MJ. Hi MJ, we're super excited to be here and we're looking forward to having a swell time with you. So you have the floor. Please go ahead. Take it away. Thank you.
Splendid. Don't give God splendid. For NG, I must say as a classmate.
Hi. So our facilitator is here. Hi, Splendor. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. And we can't wait to learn. So please, you have the floor. Take it away. Thank you.
Is might be not. It should be. Okay, so we need to record this one back. You have to record that. She knows how to do this thing. She will do it.
I don't know if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, can you hear me? Yes, you can. All right, thank you. Hi, my name is Raven. I'm a data illustrator and artist. I've been in the industry for about 3 years now. And I mostly do public illustrations. Today, we're just going to like a 45-minute masterclass on the process and how I do illustrations. So, I'm just going to share my screen now.
I know a problem.
It's when you check screen, I don't want to use acceleration.
I know as in going up and down. Hey, wait.
Yes, class.
No, it's fine. I can make that spell
Okay, please. I'm talking about you should be patient.
Yeah. I can't. Live stream. I'll use my
Phone?
no, I can't. So I don't know
Okay, please, can I go first?
I think it's another stuff.
Yes, I can.
It's 2 million.
So just let me.
Thank you.
Splendor is back in. But she's in the wrong place. She's in the wrong place. So she has to enter. Hey, that came there. Lost somebody.
So,
Splendor, wrong place. Splendor, wrong place. Where is she?
FJ. So,
She goes to the camera photo, please. This is in the
Breakout Rooms.
So now that one now is MJ's network.
Hi MJ. We can hear you, but you keep stripping in seconds.
It's
Me, yeah. And then also, so I think, Dario,
Hi MJ. Hello.
what do you
I need to sort out Splendor.
the act? What's it?
Sorry, maybe she should turn off her connection and reconnect back.
Yeah.
I hear everything.
She's saying here. Hi MJ. Hi MJ. Let's text her off.
And then,
Who has MJ's number here?
I think
She's not very late.
Text her.
right.
Text her. This is it. She will go this tomorrow.
Oh. Girls have that. She keeps tripping. Okay, she has even left. But let her know now. Students in her class, we don't want person there.
She has taken for the dinner. I think that you're supposed to do your art class that says internal care.
Hello, let's just be patient. She'll be back on. Thank you. I'm sure it's better. She's joining now.
Yes, so she's in.
Okay, fantastic.
What's engaging?
It's our biggest sale of the year.
Hannah. It's already moving. Phone should be over. Well, it's very good. You can take over now. What is it? Okay.
I need to call. Okay, it is clear.
Yeah, we can. Yes, yes. Yes, we can. Hear you.
Hi, MJ. Your screen is blank and we can't even hear your tone.
Happiness. You need to post stuff to people like masterclass is going on. Spend only has myself and color. Spend only has myself and color, so we need to push it like that. Where are you? Why? Can't just spend those ones. Because you know it, you can't just spend those ones. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, encourage you.
Let's just this chair. We apologize for the glitch. She will be with us soon. But then, does anybody have like a basic knowledge in the art of or in digital illustration? If you do, please let's just share. And before she joins in again, that's all. Thank you.
All right, guys. Hi, guys. I'm in, and I'll just take some few minutes to intimate everyone about illustration while MJ is trying to sort out a network. So I'm Oluwafemi, and I think everybody knows me by now. I think everybody knows me by now as the founder of the Blackout Design. Okay, so in the master class, I think I know. I work from Pete Boss. I think I know. I've worked with MJ for a while, and she's a super intelligent young creative, and she's been able to share some of our knowledge with us, and we yeah. So here is the very first thing we need to know about illustrations. That illustrations are okay. Before I even say all that, I'm well versed in the world of digital media, and I did illustration for some couple of years before I dabbled into 3D art and a bit of animation. So illustration wouldn't be a problem for me to facilitate right now. Okay, so like I said, while MJ is out, let me just give a briefing of how illustration works or how I do my illustration. But before I do that, I think I have some couple of illustrating people here. People like Kofi and Moise and Pete Boss, Shurent, Yemichola. Okay, so I think I would like to hear from Kofi before I start anything on illustration. So Kofi, please, and then I'm actually going to share my screen. So it's going to be a win for everyone. So let's start the illustration class. Okay, all right. Okay, please give me 1 minute. Let me. Oh, so I'm sorry. Please just give me a minute. Please. No, that please guy don't come out. I need to check this guy. Okay. Mr. Edmond, please, you may need to share us your screen. I think you're trying to share your screen, but for some reason we can't see your screen. So, thank you. Okay, sharing the screen. All right, guys, thank you. Yeah, so thanks for waiting. I had to go attend to one of the classes for social media. Okay, so let's just jump right into illustration. So Muiz, Kofi, Yemisola, Shurent, Ore, and Tego,